Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Grants Pass CSL. Good to see everybody out this morning. Day just like today, and it looks like one of those zippity doo dah days. When I sing the song, I think of Splash Mountain. Yeah, going up, and then coming down for a big splash. Zippity doo dah, yeah. Zippity bow, wow, wow.
Thank you, Dave. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, your senior minister. It's my privilege to welcome you all and welcome in Zoom world. We're here, yes. You found yourself here. We've been waiting for you and holding this beautiful space for you. And you're not disappointing us. You showed up. Yay. Well, thank you for being here. We're going to read our vision mission statement, which says that we are an open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through teaching spiritual principles. And I'll now bring up our board president, practitioner, Paula Peterson, for some announcements. Paula.
Thank you, Reverend Steve, and welcome everybody. So good to see all your faces. I'd like to start out by saying what a fun time was had on Friday night. We had our game night, and it was really fun and no calamities this time. It was just like a normal game night where people played games and we won prizes. So we had, we do raffles and stuff every time. So we had a 50-50 raffle, and our own Chris Strong was the winner. Oh, Reverend Steve, Chris Strong, I'm not sure. Yeah. They won the 50-50 raffle. And then also the lovely Wendy, there she is, donated 4 bracelets for the other raffle. And that was won by Linda Mullins, who for the 2nd time in a row won the raffle. So that was pretty, yeah, she's got something going on there. And I just like to say, thank you to the people that helped put on game night. And that is Claudia, Bucky, myself, Trasia, Reverend Steve, Wendy, and Chris. So I'm going to thank everybody. And speaking of fundraising, there is a committee meeting today at noon, right here in the sanctuary. And we're going to be discussing fun things like dinner and movie, and also our street fair that's going to happen sometime in the summer. So if you want to be part of that and join in the fun, it's really a fun time. Also, I'd like to talk about our pollinator garden planting day. So we have a combination of the pop group and the spiritual gardeners, and they're going to be working on a pollinator garden space on that side of the sanctuary outside. So they're going to be hosting a party on April 9th to prep the bed, and that'll be from 1 to 3. And on that day, we need someone with a truck to pick up soil from Copeland's. So on April 9th, it'll be prepping the bed, and April 16th will be planting day. Come on out for exercise, socializing, and spring enjoyment. Refreshments provided. Contact Jan Albright, and in your e-news and online, in your e-news and on your insert, there is her phone number and email, and she's right there if you have any plants that you wanted to bring. So I have an extra dahlia that I left over from planting this spring, so I'm going to bring that. So we'll see it come up next year or maybe this year. Okay, and then remember, before we shut down, we used to have potlucks on the first Sunday of every month. And we're going to start that back up in April. Yay. And so it'll be April 3rd. And my idea was the theme of coming home, because that's what it feels like when we really get to open up without masks and have our potlucks. Really feels like our home. This is our spiritual home. And so I encourage everyone to bring something that reminds you of home. Like, I don't know if it's mac and cheese or home baked cookies, or I don't know, whatever it would be. I encourage you to bring that, and we'll help you set it up on the tables. And I know we've got a little bit of food set out every Sunday, but the first Sunday I kind of want to make big and have a theme. So help me with that. Thank you. Now I'd like to talk about a new book study class that Deborah Perdue is hosting, and it is the Book of Hope. And so you can see it right here. And let me tell you about this. So what a better time to study together how we can maintain hope for the future. Jane Goodall has written a compelling book about why she has hope for the world. Each week, we will read chapters from this book with discussions, meditations, and sharing, and there will be fun play work each week. At the end, we will find an action step to take ourselves because, as Jane suggests, it's important to have hope and also take action. Suggested love offering will be $10 per class. So this book study class will be for 8 Sundays, noon to 1, starting April 10th. And Deborah has the sign-up sheet on the back counter. So if you have any questions, she's available afterwards to answer. Also, our bookstore is now open, and the lovely Roxanne is back there and will be able to help you with any books that you might have questions on. I don't know if you remember, but we had a section over there that was a $1 book, a $1 magazine, actually books that had been donated that there's nothing wrong with. It's just we don't have room in our lending library. And we moved that to a section in the bookstore. So, you know, you can get a great deal and improve yourself and learn new things. And so I'd like you to see Roxanne in the back after service. We also have our ongoing metaphysical book study group on Sunday mornings from 9 to 9:45 with Reverend Steve, Walking People Through the Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwin Gaines. And now please stand and join Dave as we sing, We Are One.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's read our gratitude together. I feel deep gratitude for my sense of playfulness, and I share joy and laughter abundantly, and so it is. Welcome, everyone. I especially want to welcome back Valentina. So grateful, and I welcome everybody. My name is Deborah Perdue. I'm a licensed practitioner here, and it's my joy to be up here sharing with you. I am your podium practitioner for today. Our practitioners, one of our practitioner students, Janice Garibay, is at the table in the back, and she is there to guide you to a practitioner if you'd like a short prayer afterwards. And if you're willing to pray afterwards and you're a practitioner, will you raise your hand? Looks like it's Paula and me today. She's holding the high watch for us too, which means she's just knowing the good of God emanating through us and through everything, and feeling the peace and the joy and the love and sending it to us as well. Thank you, Janice. Let's see, so the yellow prayer requests that are in the seat in front of you in the back are these, and those are to fill out if you want to, and put them on either in the basket in the back where Janice is, or even in the offertory, and we practitioners will pray with them for you for a week. And also, these are for demonstrations, which means manifestations. When something that we've been praying for comes true for you, we love to hear about it. So that's what those are for. And also, if you're online, we have a prayer request at the Grants Pass CSL website, and you can fill that out as well. So we love to pray for you. Use us. Jeanette Olmsted brought us our flowers. Here they are. And I don't know if you know, but the sunflower is Ukraine's state nation's flower. And so we're honoring Ukraine with them as well, and honoring peace in this world as well. Thank you, Jeanette, for bringing them. Is there anyone here for the very first time? If so, please raise your hand. Reverend Steve has a gift for you and to tell you a little bit more about us. Welcome. And if you haven't already, please silence your cell phones. Oh, another person too. It's Brandon. Great. So it's time to read the prayer together, which will be up here in a minute, I'm sure. Yep. I know joy is inner. My sense of play helps me build joyful, loving relationships. And I share you reading with my spirit. And so it is. So remain seated and we're going to sing I Am Loved. So it's time for our contemplation and then a couple minutes of meditation. And I'm going to read Joy is Now, because that's kind of our theme for this month, by Reverend Steph St. Amand. She's done the daily guides for March and they're just, I feel they're totally exquisite. Joy is spirit showing up in my life. I look everywhere for it and I find it everywhere I look. Joy is my breath, and the playfulness of creative spirit captures my attention with enthusiastic brilliance and the vibrancy of love. My heart is lifted, and my life blessed in witnessing joy's reflection in all that is before me. I am nourished and sustained by the activities that bring me joy. I'm easily guided to joyful opportunities and moments of play. Joy amazes me. I trust that even in moments of sadness and grief, joy comforts me with the fullness of its embrace. Joy is boundless. Its beginning and ending are unknown to me. The full and complete expression of joy is present for me as I am present for it. I know joy's laughter. I feel its loving presence wrap itself around my every moment. I know because I am joy and I am all I need to be. This is a loving and reciprocal relationship of the one. I make room in my life for joy every day. I clear my mind of all distraction and allow the playful banter of love and abundance to freely roam my mind and articulate its full expression through everything I am. Even thinking of joy elates me, which only brings about more of its good stuff. I am open to receive it, and I am open to share it with everyone around me. The affirmation: I declare boundless joy is in my life. I know it, see it, and feel it. I am eternal joy now. So let's go into the silence together and feel that joy welling up from our hearts and souls. And I'll let you know when it's time to come back. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes and get comfortable and be here now. And I just speak my word for this Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. What a blessing this community is. Filled with love, filled with joy, filled with peace. And I know that Reverend Steve's message is amazing. And I'm so grateful for Dave's beautiful music supporting that. And so it is. And so now we do have Dave's music and a talk by Reverend Steve afterwards.
Well, folks, I'd like to take you back to the 1960s. And back in the 1960s, they had a lot of groups back then which called themselves animal names. Can you believe that? Like the Beatles and the Birds, Monkeys, and the Turtles. Yeah. It's like this, I like to play a selection from the Turtles. Imagine me and you. I do. I think about today. Start right now. Imagine me and you. I do. I think about the day. It's only right to think about her tonight. Hold her tight, so happy together. If I should call you up and spend the night and say you belong to me, ease my mind. Imagine how the world would be so very fine, so happy together. I can see the bird of my life when you're in the sky. No matter
That was a special request from me to Chris and to all of you, because the title of my talk today is Happy Together. So I thought it would fit. So welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. And we're ending the month of March. God, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? So this month has been on play. And my title is So Happy Together. You know, all month we've been talking about how important it is to play in life. And I started the month by talking about me diving with the turtles in Hawaii. Remember that? Well, let me just give you a rundown of, if you weren't here, or if you were here, you get to hear it again. You know, I, in February, had the awesome vacation. Chris and I went with her daughter and son-in-law to Hawaii, Honolulu Bay, Kauai. Oh man. And both of us hadn't been there since we were young, 16, 17. We went on separate trips at that time. Although we were dating at that time, but that's a whole other story. I went all the way to Hawaii and I wanted to snorkel and see the sea turtles. And you know, her daughter had these new masks that you put your whole face into and you breathe, and there's a snorkel right out the top of your head. And I've never used one of these masks before, and it was challenging for me because I wasn't used to how to work it. You know, I'm old school, where you have a mask and you have this thing in your mouth with a hose that goes up, right? And it wasn't what I was used to. And sometimes I feel the effect of this thing called asthma that happens to me once in a while. And I had a little asthma attack trying to figure this thing out, because it's all about breathing, and you have to really breathe hard to make this thing work. So I couldn't snorkel. I was so bummed. I'm like, I came all the way to Hawaii, you know, to snorkel, and now I'm having a challenge, right? So that night I went to the local little store, and they had the old school masks with a snorkel. I'm like, oh yes, for 16 bucks, I bought myself the equipment I needed. And the next day, sure enough, it took me a little while to figure it out again, because it's been 30 years since I snorkeled. But I got it, and I started floating around, and fish everywhere, beautiful fish were coming up to me, and just, you know, just the bottom of the sea, and there it was, the kelp patty with the coral reef, and there was a turtle eating off the thing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna sneak up on it, and I had a spiritual experience. If you've ever swam with anything, it's weird. I mean, it's a good weird. Like you forget that you're a human being, and you become part of the experience. You know, and then water got in my ear, brought me right back to, you know, and I said to myself once again, I did not come all the way to Hawaii to get a little water in my ear and say, I'm not going to have a good time, because I'm here to play. So I played, and I had the best time. I was in the water for like an hour and a half. They're like, come on, you got to get out now. I got all pruny, and you know what happens. But you know, once you get it, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna do this, right? So, but that was my play experience, and it's so I can't even describe how good it is to feel that play. And it's not only the play, it was the interaction with nature. Something happens when you can interact, just walking through trees, just something that gets you out of your mind, gets you out of your head. So there's another dimension through play that happens through spiritual play, that we have to look at our spiritual lives as spiritual play. We need balance and freedom. And yet we have a very human tendency to get caught up in the busyness of this world and forget that our essential selves need to play. We need play. Now, Friday night, when we got together, there's, what, about 10 of us here? And I'm sorry, I've got a little frog in my throat going on, but I brought some water up here with me to kind of help me out. But we sat and we played apples to apples. And man, we had so much fun. And it's good to connect with people, just play a game. And play is a sacred activity, and it's absolutely necessary to our spiritual and physical health and well-being. Play is healing in the body and the mind and the spirit, and it connects us with others and inspires us to our greatest yet to be. What is your greatest yet to be? What do you love to play at? What brings you that joy? That you work so hard to get that 2 weeks off to go do, right? RVing or whatever it is for you. Each one of us has our own thing, right? But we need to do it. And since we've been experiencing this, not been able to travel as much, and when we did, it was masked and kind of a constricted, there's 2 years there where we didn't play very much. We tried. We learned this thing called Zoom out. That was fun for a little while, right? And now we're keeping it because it's so much fun, right? But we need to play. It is essential that we play. And in our Declaration of Principles, Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, "We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with that indwelling God." And the way to get in close contact with that indwelling God is through play, In his book, Think Your Troubles Away, Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, "If we would know a God of joy, we must be joyful. We must be joyful." Together, these ideas lead us to the realization that we are one, and we walk as a revealer of that joy in our lives. We must joyfully come together and community play. And when we do that together, where 2 or more are gathered, there is play. Or in this church, there's food. We love to eat together. It's just wonderful. Which brings me to my 3 talking points. Number 1, the first step toward a life of play, fun, and joy with others is to open up and be willing to be in a playful way. Just like Anna from the movie Frozen wanted to play with her sister, there are those who want to play with you. It's not always easy to allow ourselves to be seen in the vulnerable light that inherently comes with play. And I am one of the sticklers on this because I do not like feeling uncomfortable in front of people. When we dance, I just kind of, just swing, because I don't want, I don't want to be with them thinking I can't dance. I can dance. I just don't want to show you in front of everybody. You know what I mean? We're kind of reserved, I don't know what to do with my hands, so I'm kind of awkward. But it's essential that we get over that uncomfortableness when we play. Now, I play bass, and I love playing in a band. A bass guitar is just the root, bass, deep tones. It's difficult to play that yourself. You can play Dazed and Confused, or pick your favorite bass song, Smoke on the Water, whatever it is for you. You need other players. You need guitar and vocals and drums. It's kind of hollow with just boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. But it's essential. You got to have that part too. But you need to play together. I have no problem getting up on stage and acting like a crazy man with a bass in my hand. I run around the stage and play, you know? I mean, if you've ever seen, you know, a rock band, you know, AC/DC or whatever your band is, and seen these guys play. I mean, they don't just stand there, you know, and face their amp and play. You know, they play, man. They go at it. They, you know, they're out there getting in the audience and playing. And that's the type of play that we need in our lives. You know, whatever your play is it pickleball or is it, you know, whatever your thing is, do it like nobody's watching, right? Just do it, just cut loose, right? Because it's important for us to cut loose. It involves overcoming the fear of taking off the mask of public acceptability and appropriateness and allowing our inner child to romp around. Accepting invitations for play when they come is an essential step. You know, so often we're like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. And your spirit is going, no, go play, play outside. Can I go play outside? Remember that? Oh, can I go play outside? You need to do that. Ask your inner child, do you want to go play outside? We are never more fully alive and more completely ourselves and more deeply engrossed in anything than when we play. And that's from Charles Schaeffer. Because of this, we are able to be known most deeply and completely in the space of play. You want to play, come out and play. This expansion of possibilities and the flowering of our relationships that can only come forth as we play. So take advantage of those requests. You know, Angelo's playing guitar and he's calling me all the time. Hey, do you want to go play? You know, what, you want to play? And sometimes I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'm working or this or that. But I always try to, if I can't do it at that moment, I try to reschedule because part of my being needs to play the bass with other people. So I say, not right now, but soon. And I always get back to him because he's a player. So second rule, 30-second dance party. Have you heard of these? This thing called the 30-second dance party? Well, it is this thing that they created that these groups get together and they just put on a 30-second piece of music and they just rip. Everybody dances for 30 seconds. Once we're willing to play with one another, we have the opportunity to open up even further. Loosening up in front of other people and being authentically silly and joyful selves gives people a glimpse into our hearts. And in a new Design for Living, Ernest Holmes wrote, the present moment can never provide us with more joy than we're able to embody. So we need to loosen up. It's easiest to be truly open and authentic when it's part of our culture also. And it's not been part of our culture to really cut loose as Americans. You know, we're very reserved, except for those rock and roll people. They don't seem to have any problem with that. So this thing called the 30-second dance party, is my phone back there? Did I leave my phone back there? Yeah, I want to do a 30-second dance party with you all. You guys want to do this? Yeah. You guys want to do this? I'm going to put on 30 seconds of music, and we are going to dance like nobody's looking. And if you can't stand up, that's okay. Just move your arms and move your head a little bit, but just everybody stand up. Come on, we're going to do this. We're going to do this as a community. And could you bring up this mic a little bit so I can put this on? Okay, ready? Everybody move, come on, here we go. Just close your eyes. Woo. Come on, move, come on. Let's do it, move in there. Stand up if you're at your computer. Move around a little bit. My friend looks like a dance party.
Okay, you bring this one down.
Isn't that cool? Did you feel different now? See, did you feel the energy in the room just like went woo, lit off this place? And we didn't have to really do anything for that long. We just moved our bodies. But it's so important to connect that, break that barrier of, oh, well, I couldn't. Just break the ice, you know, and let that stuff go and be your authentic self. Because when we play, we touch that spiritual sense of wonder, of, you know, possibility and of movement. You know, the mind-body connection gets united, and we're different people when we move, and it's just different, you know, it's just an energy that we bring. So number 3, German-style board games. Now that we're open and loosened up, it's time to make play a community affair. Expanding on a sense of community means getting and keeping everyone involved and feeling that they belong. One challenging tradition experienced in group play is the dynamic of the winner and loser type games. This is brilliantly illustrated by the American board game Monopoly. We all love Monopoly, don't we? But it's a kind of cutthroat game. You know, if you look at it, the goal is to bankrupt the other players as quickly as possible, right? Only in America, right? and knocking them out of the game. This leads to periods where players are left in a non-play mode. You've seen them, you know. Gave up, I don't have any of my railroads anymore, you know, and they've got Park Place, and I gotta go around the board. Hope I collect my $200. You know. And paintball is another one, you know, we're just out there like killing people with paint, you know, what the heck is that? It's just, and the video games, don't start me on what, you know, the shoot up video games is all about that. It's just, for me, it's not healthy. I mean, everything in moderation, you know, don't overdo anything. And that's a good place to start, is overdoing anything is a bad idea. So the rise of the German-style board game, also known as the Euro games, turns this on its head. The idea is to work together, to build, hey, God's calling. We're another 3 seconds. All right, everybody. The idea in these Euro games is to work together as a team, to build a community. Through the time of play, and if there is a winner, it's like calculated at the very end, so nobody feels like they're losing. Everybody's working together to do their part to play the game. It's a different style of energy in a game. Now, I have to disclaim, because I'm a football fan. I love me the football. Since I could run, I was playing flag football at the YMCA. I played flag football in junior high school. I went into high school playing football, but I was too short, too small, but I was fast. I could run away with that ball. They could never catch me to tackle me. But, you know, I gave that up in high school because it was just taking a toll on my body. It hurt my neck, and I'm like, you know, I'm probably gonna let the bigger guys play the ball. You know, that was cool. But I love football, and we've got a family of football. Chris's family is very into football, but that's a whole other story. So what we need to do is understand what types of games we're playing in the world, and play games that support each other and lift each other up. And even, you know, good sportsmanship is what it's all about. You know, it's not if you win or lose, it is how you play the game. And it's how we play the game of life, isn't it? Are we being kind to one another? Are we consoling the loser? Or maybe having another game where they have a chance to play again and to win? You know, it's so important. It's truly living in wonder to experience the communal joy of playing together and creating a culture in which it's recognized is a real need for spiritual practice. And our spiritual practice, when we do it together, when we meditate together, even the 30 seconds that we get on Sunday when the practitioner brings us into the silence, we're all doing that together. And this is a promo for our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday meditation that we do on the Zoom machine. It's from 8:45 to 9:15. And we come together, we chat for the first 15 minutes, and right at 9 o'clock, we go silent. And usually Paul Domoleski, who's our facilitator of that, who lives in San Francisco, plays a little piece of music or a little quote from Ernest Holmes, and we sit together for 15 minutes. And there's something about that that sets my day up to just have that like peace and calm. So I'm inviting you all to go to our website. And if you're on here, you know where our website is. It's at grantspasscsl.org, because we are a nonprofit. But check it out and come join us for a little meditation, because it's so worth it. So in conclusion, this week, with sacred wonder and joy in our hearts, let's explore ways in which we can share life completely with one another. Find a partner to do a 30-second dance with, or just dance by yourself, because you can really rip when nobody's watching. I know you can. I've been in front of a mirror before when a good piece of music comes on. You know what I'm talking about. And carry this energy into your world, into your community. Go to the store and break into a 30-second dance in the aisle and just see what happens. You know, you may get escorted out. But it will be fun, right? Just don't, just pay for everything you get, And carry this energy as who and what you are. So let's play together, because it is the gateway to deeper community and a richer spiritual experience. And so it is. It's time for us to follow our teaching. And let's do a prayer for play right now, okay? So I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or bring a soft focus to the flowers or the candles, or something that takes you to that place where you are connected and anchored in to your spiritual beliefs. And you get to decide what you name it, what it means to you, what the energy is about that. But I think we can agree that there is a power that is always on. It is breathing our body and beating our heart. It's digesting our food and moving all the molecules in our body into the right places for our perfect healing. And in that, I know that each one of us is supercharged with miraculous energy that I am activating right here, right now. That as we begin to feel that tingling sensation throughout our body, the healing is happening right here and right now for each one of us. So I speak my word of play into this prayer, knowing that as we have fun in life, as we truly play and enjoy ourselves, that dopamine that is naturally in our body is activated, and we just start to feel good. It's called bliss. It's being happy for no apparent reason. And that is where healing happens. So as we activate that healing nature right now, a miracle is happening right before our very consciousness. I may not know what you're walking through, but I know that God does. I know that the source energy of all it is has put certain situations into our lives to bring to spirit for it to figure it out so a healing can occur. So as we turn away from what doesn't work, whatever challenges we have, not to deny them, but not to give them any more power, for energy flows where our attention goes. And as we focus on our source energy, everything unlike it falls back into the nothingness from which it came. Maybe we even want to bless our challenges and say, thank you for the message that you're bringing me. This puts a fast forward button on your healing. For the minute that you bless your challenge begins to bless you. This is how true healing works in our lives. How good it is to know that healing is already revealing the truth of who and what we are. And for this, we give great thanks. How good it is to know. How grateful we are as we live in gratitude itself. And as we live in gratitude, the healings expand. The revealing of truth as our mind expands. And suddenly, we are a whole new people. So let's let go. Let's release this word directly into that living, loving law of mind where it is already healed. It is already a blessing. And we are already one. As we affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, welcome back. It is time for our offertory. So I invite you to bring your gift to your heart, or maybe you're just giving your heart today. Put your hand on your heart and let's affirm our offertory ideas about sharing, which says, God is the source and substance of my supply, and I give freely to joyously of my so, it's really important to understand tithing. And tithing is giving back to where you're given spiritually. And we hope that you found that this center gives to you spiritually so that we can be that place to expand our consciousness. I want to see all the seats filled. I want to have to get out the other seats that we have and put them all in here. I just want people to come and enjoy who we are. So tell a friend, bring a friend, be a friend. And now Dave will play some music. Let's bless our offertory this morning. From the love of pure spiritual energy, these tithes and gifts have been collected. They're evidence of our faith, our belief, and our ability to manifest in this world of form. They do good work in this world. They bless the giver and the receiver. They bless the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living and allow us to have this center open and available in this community, allowing those who choose to remember who they are to come and have this experience, and even those who don't even know it And for this, we are all so well blessed as we bless this offering. So it is. Well, it's time for our final song. So if you want to stand up, let's stand up and sing, shall we? Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's happening in my mind.
It's happening in my mind.
In my body.
In my body.
And in the body of my affairs.
In the body of my affairs.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I know it.
I know it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you.
An awesome week, everybody. Blessings, everyone. Enjoy.